Hello everybody, it's Noah Farrow, your favorite bipolar actor. Today, we are jumping in to some Jimmy Page. He's going to explain how Stairway to Heaven came about, alright? We're not going to talk long, let's go.
I've wanted to try to put something together which started with quite a fragile, exposed acoustic guitar playing in sort of style of a poor man's bourrée by Bach, that sort of aspect. As far as the instrumentation goes, there are going to be there's recorders to the early part, which gives it a sort of slightly medieval feel.
Oh! Yes! Thank you! Alright, so, you know, I'm going to have to celebrate when any little bitty thing. If you watch my Led Zeppelin reaction, that was the thing that I got from him. I was like, wow, this is medieval. This is the Hobbits. I'm in the Shire. It's such an amazing dynamic use of instruments from where it starts to where it finishes.
There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying a stairway to heaven.
That was an idea of John Paul Jones's to put the recorders on, and he played the recorders. When I actually had the idea for Stairway, that wasn't necessary. I wasn't thinking recorders. I was thinking more the texture of actually the electric piano.
And she's buying a stairway to heaven. There's a sign on the wall, but she wants to be sure, 'cause you know sometimes words have to mean.
The idea of Stairway was to have a piece of music, a composition, whereby it would just keep unfolding into more layers and more moods, and actually the whole intensity of or subtlety and the intensity of the overlay of the composition would actually accelerate as it went through on every level, every emotional level, every musical level, and so it just keeps opening up as it continues through its sort of passage.
Exactly how I saw it. That's genius that he could. So that's what I saw, and it's genius that he's able to get that out and beam that through in his thoughts through music, but without telling us. But that's how, I'm sure millions of us have seen it that way too. And I'm like, wow, that's exactly how we saw it. Oh yeah, it's even medieval writing.
Robert was magnificent with his input of lyrics to the music of Led Zeppelin anyway.
It's medieval-ish. You get me. It's a period. It's not really medieval, but don't come for me in the comments, damn it. See, I have to stop because any little thing, y'all just dive into the comments, okay? It's, you know what? It might be medieval. I'm standing on medieval.
This was during the period that we were at Headley Grange that the thing was put together. It was slightly complicated to be doing this whole thing without a vocal, because at the time there weren't any lyrics, and this is the this was the backbone of what the song was intended to be, and the whole of the running order from the beginning to the end was sort of mapped out. It was tricky. It was a tricky thing to do because there's a lot of music and changes in it.
Yes.
And it's whispered that soon, if we all...
I remember during that period, Robert was sort of sitting down, leaning against the wall, and he was just sort of writing. I won't never forget that image of him doing that. We do a run through of it from beginning to end with the guitar opening, as we all know, and then Robert comes up and starts to pitch in and sing. And I tell you, it must have been 90% of the lyrics were already done.
Man, it's like this group was meant to be together. Like everybody meshes together perfectly, it seems. Just that instant right there of how it just came organically. Everybody was just like, huh, let me come over here and lend my 2 cents. And then just made it more genius and just built on that.
What I'd learnt about John Bonham, that he could be really effective if he came in somewhere down the line on the song.
If there's a bustle in your hedgerow, don't be alone there.
And so everything is starting to open up on this map, on this journey through. And all of
Now, on down the line, you know I like to link other parts of music too, what we're enjoying right now. And so we're going to link this to hip-hop. Hip-hop does this a lot, and the most amazing classic hip-hop song that does this is called Players Ball by Outkast and UGK. Classic song. And the difference is it doesn't wait until the drummer comes in. They just wait until the beat drops or the drums come in, and it gives that feeling, because you know what's coming. I think as an audience, we feel that drum is going to come eventually. I think I even mentioned it when I was reacting to it. Eventually, that drop is coming. Yeah, he is so right. I love that, because it allows you to tell the story. And in the Outkast UGK song, it's actually a story being told. It's a storytelling. Well, Andre is telling an actual story. And so for that story, it is very light on the beat, similar to this. It's just all voice and all vocals until BAM!
this stuff was planned, you know, it wasn't just an accident or everyone chipping in. It was just, it really was a sort of design. One of the cardinal rules when I was a studio musician was that you didn't speed up. And I was keen to do something which had an acceleration to it, not only from the musical point of view, but from the lyricist, so that the whole thing would start to gain a momentum as it went through. So it wasn't just a monotone piece. And by that, I actually mean that it would subtly speed up. So you're breaking the #1 cardinal rule.
Oh, interesting.
The concept of the solo was to have something like a sort of fanfare, so it's a definite transition. So it comes in with a fanfare to introduce this solo, and the solo is just going to soar right through.
You know what also makes this great is it's so re-listenable because it's so complex. There's so many things. Like the first time through, you could listen to it and only listen to only one part of the song of the many, as he said, many layers affects you. Then you listen to it again, same part affects you, and then you listen to it a third time. And it's like, wait a minute. The drums, which you mentioned before, that's really getting me this time through. So now you're listening to it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Think, wait a minute. This story that I'm listening to is affecting me now. So now you're actually listening to it all the way through. It's A very genius song. There's another song that I'm going to listen to very soon that people are saying are even better than Stairway to Heaven from Led Zeppelin. People like to talk. Yeah? People like to say things. To be clear, it's another Led Zeppelin song.
It was a very inspired time for all of us at the time that we were living in the Headley Grange as a residence, eating, sleeping, making music. That's what we were doing day after day after day. And it sort of tells when you hear the fourth album. But, you know, Stairway is a sort of byproduct of it, of all of that. But, you know, it's obviously been quite substantial in as a milestone for Led Zeppelin. At the end of that solo, there's the trills, which lead it into this huge finale, which is the vocal as we wind on down the road. And by that point, it's really motoring. It's not racing, but it's just the passion of it. It's just unfolded on every respect of the lyrical aspect of it. Robert was inspired. It was really an inspired period of time. It sort of shows that I think the lasting quality of this music over all these years is the fact that everyone's playing so honestly and with such conviction that it sort of shows.
And she's buying a stairway to heaven.
That's pretty cool to watch him listen to the song. It's a reaction. So, well, yeah, pretty much a reaction video. That's actually I didn't really think about how surreal that is until the end of it. And, yeah, that's pretty amazing because how many million thousands of times has he performed? Has he performed that song? And it's a part of him. It affects us in different ways, but imagine how it affects him and how he views it. Like, we might view it from different periods of time in our life and how maybe the song guided us through the periods of time in their lives, where he views it through maybe the structure, like he was saying. He remembers, it's like photography in his mind. So maybe the song brings back more of the building of the song. I've never actually asked musicians that. If you are some musicians, how do you think of your music later on? Do you think of it as a moment in time? Do you think of it as the construction of the music itself? I mean, there's a lot of different ways that you know, it's in your heart as. Anyway, if you'd like to, drop it down in the comments. Let me know. And